Welcome
Welcome to
to
Oh
Oh
Sweet
Sweet
Wonders. There have been times where if you didn't encourage me, I wasn't gonna do it. If you didn't push me,
Really?
I wasn't ready. I felt like I wasn't ready. I felt like I wasn't confident enough. But you helped me in being confident in like my creativity and stepping out on faith about how I move with my things. And if I promise you, like nobody's been able to push me into purpose. Anything else was like, nah, don't. That's crazy. Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you get with the person that God has for you, it's like purpose meets purpose, and it pushes you both into the purpose in which you're called to be. There are parts of me that could not have moved into a different space until I got with you. In my singleness, I did what I needed to do. I did what I had to do. But there are parts of me that was not ready for what I've been doing lately. Not just since being married, but even before engagement, when we were dating, it was like, okay, girl, you got to, you finna be a wife, okay? So you got to step into this. You got to step into this like you're ready for it, and not in a sense of the natural parts of being a wife, but spiritually. I had to pray more. I had to stay on my face more. I had to stay in God's word more. I had to fast more, pray more. It it's it's a different type of assignment that comes along with being a wife or being being a husband.
That communication with God is so important because when God told you to pray for your husband, you have no idea what I was going through. You had no idea about the opportunities that I could have taken with other women. That where I got dreams, taking a nap, dreaming, and then God was like, send him warning me, don't do that. Don't go with her. Don't do this. You know what I mean? And so like you have no idea, what that, you listening to God, you being in communion with him when it comes to preparing for your husband or your wife, what you're doing. And for a while I had been praying for my wife. And there was a certain point in time where he was telling me to pray for my wife, pray for her, and I was praying for her health. I was praying for the equilibrium and the processes of her body so she would be healthy. I was praying all these things that had nothing to do with me, and not to move on, but I think as a man, if you're a man of God, Lord, what should I pray for her? What does she need? What should I do? And I think a lot of times we're concerned with, well, Lord, she got to be able to drop a low on her brother. You know what I'm saying? She got to be able to, do all those things. And if just a little tip, if you are who God says you are, and she's the one for you, and you're considerate of her, she's gonna want to be freaky with you and all other stuff because she'll feel safe to be freaky, all that other stuff that comes along with it.
It's another conversation.
It's another conversation. But I think especially for men, you need to, and women, you need to start asking God, how, if this is a person that's for you, what does she need? How do I pray for her? What things can I do for her? And then there were times where God was like, "So Lord, can I do this for her?" He was like, "No, she's not ready for that." And I was like, "Okay." And if you're going to be in a relationship with that person, it's not just about selfish, what can she do for me, but Lord, how can I how can I bless her? How can I better do the things that she needs in her heart and her mind? That connection, that saying, Lord, I'm placing my needs to the left, and I'm asking you, how can I serve her? And I think there were a couple of times you said that I did something, and you knew it was God because you never said anything to me.
I didn't say anything to anybody. I didn't even some of the things. I didn't even pray out loud. It was just me and God's time and just thinking, and most of the time I didn't pray it out loud. And so it was like, hold on, wait a minute. he talked to the Lord for real. And it was just one specific time. I was like, why you in my business? And because it was I think it was one time I was driving here and I ended up taking a different route. And I didn't tell you until after the fact, but I was down this long road. And it was so scary. But the scariest part was it was a very long road that had water on both sides. And it felt like I was in this boat by myself. And it was like I was in the middle of nowhere. I had no service on my phone. So I felt unreachable, all these things. I got back. We had a weekend and everything. I had came back. I was at work. I had just parked at work. And you was like, this is what the Lord told me to tell you. And I was like, huh? Not you about to prophesy to me. Not you about to prophesy. What you got to say? And so, of course, I'm like, what he got to say? And so you were like, God is showing me where you seem like you're in this boat and you got water on both sides. I was like, well, you in the car with me? Because I did not tell you that part. I didn't tell you what I felt. I didn't tell you what I saw. And I literally saw that I was in the boat, that I had water on both sides, and I was traveling down this road. And you literally spoke life into me based upon what the Holy Spirit told you. And so it was like for that, like that moment was, and it's been a couple of those, not a couple of, it's been a lot of those moments where I'm like, I know this man talks to the Lord. I know he specifically prays. The first prayer that you prayed when we finally got on the phone, because you video called me. I was like, how you know I like video calls, first of all? Who told you to video call me? Anyway, so we're on the phone and we're talking, everything's going well. The day is just going like we knew each other, like we were operating as if this was a thing. And before we got off the phone, I was like, all right, well, hopefully I talk to you soon, because it was a good conversation. And you was like, I hope you don't think we finna get off the phone like that. And I was like, what do you mean? You was like, bow your head. Like, okay. He finna pray, girl. He finna pray. But I listened. I listened closely to your prayer. And it was a couple of things that I noticed. One, that you were intentional about not just praying for me, but covering me. And because of the choices of words that you spoke in your prayer, it was like, okay, not only is he praying for me, but he's covering me. Not only is he covering me, he's covering the things around me. Like, you started just calling out things. It wasn't no just little ranky-dank prayer, Lord bless her, keep her, and cover her, and may heaven smile upon her. It wasn't nothing like that. Like, you were intentional about the things concerning me, even on that first call. And so it was like, he too good to be true. But I knew it was true because the things that you prayed were things that me and God talked about. It wasn't nothing that, even like gifting, when you would gift, we had just started talking. We weren't even a month really into talking. And you gifted me something. First I was scared. I was like, I ain't finna get this man my address. But I prayed and God was like, trust me. And I was like, okay, all right. He ain't never failed me yet, so I'm gonna trust you. I ain't gonna trust him, but I'm gonna trust you, God, cause I'm from Sumter County. I'm from Sumter County. We don't play that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care where he from. I'll find out all his people. We ready. But it was like, okay, just trust me. God was like, just trust me, just trust me. Mind you, I'm like, I don't know what it is. I'm confused. I'm like, why is he asking? And he did it so nonchalant, like it was just normal. Yeah, what's your address? He's like on the computer. We're talking. I don't even know what we were talking about. We were just having regular conversation. And you're on the computer. You're like, yeah, what's your address? And before I know, I'm like, one, two, well, huh? Girl, shut up. Why is you giving this man your address? He could be crazy. But it was like, not once did I feel off because of how you prayed, what you were praying, and of course, discernment tells me your spirit. I'm not gonna let my guard down. It's at this point I can't let my guard down at all. Because if I let my guard down, I'm in a very not just vulnerable state. If I let my guard down, I'm also unsafe if I let my guard down. Is he real? Like, and I mean, and when I say is he real, I mean like, is this what he wants? I don't want no games. Like
Yeah.
I knew you didn't play about the Lord. I could tell that. That
But
wasn't
there
a
is
thing.
a difference.
There is a major difference.
Whew.
He can be serious about the Lord, but that joker will play you
with you.
strong. He'll play you strong, okay? But he don't play about the Lord.
Yeah.
So, because I knew that you've come into my lives before. I read people very well. I'm prophetic, so I know who's around me. And I'm not 100% always, but I'm very careful and mindful. And at that stage of my life where you came into it, I had then gone through so much and experienced so much and been around so much that God had prepared me for any and everybody that was coming in my life. So the assignments were coming and I knew what they were about. It wasn't nothing catching me off guard because
Right.
I was always in God's face. I was always on my face. I was always in his presence. And so when you came, it was like, I know he love you, Lord. I know he do. Because he didn't came in my Bible study. That man spoke the word of God for real. He don't play by Jesus. Okay? Because he prays very well. And he prays according to the Holy Spirit. But do he play me? Is he playing me? You know what I'm saying? There is a difference.
There is a difference.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother that's a conversation in itself.
Yeah.
But it was like I didn't. Here's the thing. I can get in here and talk about the other women that didn't work out, right? Oh, they did this and that.
It's like,
I have to take ownership.
yeah.
But I know that for a long time, and I can't speak for anybody else. For a long time, I've wanted to be, and I want to say like the knight in shining armor for somebody, but I wanted to be somebody's protector, be somebody's lover, be somebody, I've been waiting to, love bomb somebody and continue love bombing somebody because and then love bombing is not just for a short period of time,
Yeah.
but it's forever. I've that's been my my desire to do that for my wife, and not realizing that I needed that for myself in reciprocation. I needed that to be reciprocated for me. And realizing that, coming to this relationship, you were intentional about me. And I was intentional about you. And let me tell you something. We were so intentional about each other that we would get in arguments like that. Like that. The big part of our arguments and our bumping heads came because we were trying to care for each other, but I'm trying to make sure you good. But I'm good. I'm good. I'm grown. I got this.
I got this.
Y'all, oh boy, y'all women, I got
We
this.
want to be so independent.
And I was saying that which real men love about you.
Yeah.
But we also love the fact that we know you're independent.
Yeah.
But now you don't have to be independent.
Right.
And you keep your independence. Yes, there is independence, and my relationship with you should not take away from your independence as an individual, but it also your independence becomes more because now my independence is sharing with you and we are becoming one.
Right. Yeah.
And so we have our independence, our personalities, but the bigger part when we come together, we are coming together because and for and after because we are dependent on God.
Yeah. Yeah. It was one of the things, and I have a video of me talking to God.
I can't wait to see all these videos you got.
I have so many videos, like literally every phone call, every time it's like I recorded after every encounter. This one particular time I was sitting in the car. I had just got off from work and before I got in, and I think you were either traveling for work or you were doing something, but you had been dealing with some stuff at work or something. Something was going on. And I could tell, you didn't share it with me, but I could tell that something was going on. This was in the beginning stages of, we weren't even I don't even think during this time we had saw each other face to face yet. This was way before then. And so I'm sitting in the car and I'm talking to God concerning you. And I just started crying. I'm like, Lord, I got the man up now. I'm doing all this crying. I don't know this man. But I started crying and I was like, God, I just want to love him. I want to love him. I want to be able to cater to the man in him and the little boy in him. And it was like, I don't know. I felt like in that moment, you needed me to come and hug you. So I sat in the car and I'm like, God, that's my desire. I just want to love him. I don't want anything I don't want to take away anything from him. I don't want to take away from his purpose. I don't want to distract him because, you were in school during that time. I'm like, I'm not here to distract him. I know what journey you have me on. And I can see what journey you have him on. I don't want to distract either one of those paths. However, as we're growing to you, help us to help each other, love each other. So I'm having these moments with God about how to love you. What do you need? Because, we may think it's one way and it's like, that's not actually what they need. That what they really need is this, or, so in the beginning, it made no sense for me as a woman. If you look at it the way the world portrays how women should be with men and men should be with women, I would send you good morning texts. And we would talk in the morning, but before we talk or, going you at work or whatever, I would send you this long morning message, but it would be a prayer. It would be a prayer of covering. It would be, intercessory prayer or something that encouraged you as a man. And it didn't always happen, but for a period of time, it was like the more I spent with God, the more I felt like you needed that. Versus me saying, he ain't sent me no good morning text this morning. What he doing? No, this man at work, okay? This man woke up late because he worked. He work right there at work. He sleep right there at work. Where you lived versus where you work was so short. So you wake up 5 minutes, you out the door, you gone. But it was like, okay, let me get my mind together because at first it was like, he ain't sent me no good morning text. I want good morning text. God was like, then send him a good morning text. I was like, what? Excuse me? Absolutely not. No, I did. Okay, so, I would send um good morning text, but they would be like, good morning, handsome, I pray that your day is amazing on purpose. I pray that you know that you're strong, that you're, so I would talk to you in encouragement and encourage the man in you. And I felt good about it, because I'm like, no, let me take away my selfish desires and my selfish ways. And I think this is what we miss in being with a kingdom spouse. Like, when you're with the man or woman that God has for you, it's different. You handle them differently.
Yeah.
You don't come in it selfishly. You don't come in it with your own ambitions to do, to only get. As a woman, it's like, no, the man should give me a good morning text every morning. And that's what they portray. Like it's like they take the man that found a wife finds a good thing, and they change that into, oh, the man has to chase the woman every time, in every situation and everything.
That's interesting, because in some of my other relationships, you become used to the status quo. And it's like, oh, I'm a hunter, I got to chase. Some prey want to get caught.
That.
You know what I'm saying? People say, oh, a man likes a yeah, we do, but you never want to force anybody to be
Yeah.
with you or be your prey. There has to be some. They gotta want to be with you.
Yeah.
Or else all you're doing is or even if you get together and marry her, you'll still be chasing her, and you'll never fully have her.
Right. And I think it's a bad way to look at it, though. To talk
Yeah.
about chasing a prey, when you look at how animals chase a prey, it's something that doesn't, like, they're devouring it. It's in a negative way. And the more you chase someone, the more, one, you're out of line, out of purpose, and you may be out of your jurisdiction. Like, you may not be called for that chasing. You may not be called, because where are they going?
Yeah.
Where are you following them to? Down what rabbit hole? Down what path? And it's like, then we go back to idolization. We go back to, you're in the wrong mindset. You're in the wrong space. Why chase? You didn't have to chase me. I didn't have to chase you. We showed up in the spaces together because we were seeking God. There were times where I would call you, you'd be like, I literally just picked up the phone. Or there were times that you called me and I'm like, I was literally about to text you. Or it's something like, I would be thinking about you, and then my phone rings and here you are. And it's like, what are you doing? Talking to God? Like, what you doing?
Why are you always so surprised? Why are you always so surprised when that happens? Like,
Because it had never happened before. And it's okay. Daryl Coley's song, and I love the song because it really does explain every season of our life. We should always pay attention to what the words say. He's preparing me for something that I'm not yet ready for, right? He's making me ready for what I can't handle right now, right? And so, in preparation to you coming, like, I thought I was ready. But you pray for things and you ask for things. You do have to be in preparation for what the responsibility that comes with that, the accountability that comes with it, and the acceptance that comes with it too.
I will say that when it's a real person of God, this goes to ladies and men, it will test to see if you're ready for what God has for you. Because I've been in a relationship where, oh, I want a man of God, I want that. And then when they got me, you had all these other traumas and tropes that you found out you needed to deal with.
Yeah.
Now, here's the choice. You either stay in it or you get out of it and start dealing with the traumas and the things to get yourself ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I had certain situations where they were like, "Well, I don't know if you want me," and every time it said it irked me because I was like,
What?
why would I not?
Yeah.
But also that was not, and I'm not saying this isn't to bash her, but it was a letting her know that, hey, maybe you're not as ready. Maybe you got to deal with these things.
Yeah.
Because I looked at her, I said, I'm not afraid of you, right? Why would I be afraid of somebody I want to love, right? And again, here I am putting myself out, chasing
Chasing.
a
Yeah.
prey that don't want to be caught,
Yeah.
you know. And now I'm not saying this is for the men. Not saying that as hunters, we don't, we want to find a good thing. We want to find. There's a difference between finding and me not even be able to get up because you already on my lap.
Wow.
Here you go.
Here you are.
Here it is. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
Yeah.
about you being where you're supposed to be. You being where God has for you to be.
Yeah.
That's in business, that's in ministry. If you're not in
Everything.
ministry, that's in life. Who you are, you being where you're, God, where am I supposed to be? You being there is the hunting ground where I can come and find you.
Right. Because you're gonna be where you're supposed to be.
I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be.
That's what a lot of people miss. They put themselves in. Ooh, Jesus. They put themselves in harm's way because then you're open to being a prey. I say all of that to say, like, we as women, especially, we will be we put ourselves in the wrong place. Like, because we're out of line, we're out of order, we're not doing what God called us to do, all to go be found. But now you're instead of waiting in line, we go to self checkout. Now you're open for, you got to call for help every time something goes wrong, right? You got to, none of the barcodes working, so they still got to come, right? You got something you need an ID for, so they still, help has to still come instead of waiting in line, and you don't have those issues. We don't want to wait because we don't understand what waiting looks like or what it means to wait. What does it actually look like to wait? And it's not necessarily that you're still and you're not changing, you're not moving, you're not growing, you're not maturing. Being still and waiting looks like I'm worshiping, I'm honoring God with my life, I'm doing what I'm called to do. What did he call me to do? Let me find out my purpose. If I don't know my purpose, what am I looking at? What am I seeing in myself? Not just because I have a gift, but I have a call. Not just because I'm called, because I'm chosen. And if I'm chosen, then I have a purpose to do. I have the purpose to fulfill. And so, am I aligned? I say this all the time. Lord, let the steps that I'm taking line up with the steps that you've ordered for my life. Well, what steps have been ordered for us? In my waiting, what am I supposed to be doing? Is it that, like, when you found me, I was doing what I was supposed to do. My patient went to the hospital. I'm on there complaining about how I went to Wegmans, because I was going live anyway. I did lives anyway. And because that's what I did. God had me going live. And anytime I went live, it was always because God sent me to go live. And I wasn't going to go live that day. It was like I was waiting on my patient to go to the doctor and come back. Well, that went longer. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go sit in the car and go live. I was in purpose. I was on time. I had the unction to do it, and I did it. I went to the grocery store. I went to Wegmans to go try to get me a sub, and that lady was nasty. And I was like, no, the man, he was nasty. And I was like, no, never mind. You can keep the whole sub. I'm going to go ahead and bounce, right? And then you come on my live eating a sub or a sandwich.
I was tearing that up.
You was
too.
tearing it up. But I was in purpose. I was on purpose, and I was in time with God. I was doing what I was called to do. And a lot of times we miss that. We miss being in purpose to go find purpose. No, we're already in purpose. Like, do it. Just be.
What did God call you to?
What did he call you to do? And what did he called you to be?